Whenever the family visited Grandma's house for dinner, there was always one constant: Louis, the parrot, perched beside her. Louis had a unique bond with Grandma, so much so that it almost seemed as if he considered her his favorite person. While everyone else at the table joked about it, Louis made his feelings crystal clear. "Who's Mom? I only love Grandma," he seemed to say with his behavior. His loud calls and playful chatter always centered on her, leaving his owner feeling slightly betrayed. After all, she spent every day caring for him, only to see him form such a strong connection with Grandma. Louis's friendship with Grandma was unexpected but heartwarming. When his owner first got him, she didn't anticipate how much her life would change. Initially, her decision to bring Louis into her life stemmed from a desire to have a pet bird. She did her research, understanding feeding schedules and care requirements, but nothing could have prepared her for the reality of living with a parrot. Louis quickly became the center of her world. He insisted on constant attention, rarely wanting to leave her side. He was feisty too. Over time, she had to replace countless household items he destroyed in his curious explorations. Even her daily routines adjusted around him. She learned how to do her makeup one-handed, just to keep him content in her arms. There were moments of doubt, moments where she wondered if she had taken on more than she could handle. Weekly visits to Grandma's house became a family tradition, but she was initially nervous about bringing Louis along. Her sweet, kind-hearted Grandma had never met Louis, and she wasn't sure how the little parrot would behave. Would he get scared? Would he act out? She was worried about leaving him alone at home, but bringing him seemed like an even bigger gamble. To her surprise, their first meeting was nothing short of magical. The moment Louis met Grandma, he flew straight to her and began playing with her hair. It was as if they had known each other forever. Grandma, who had never been much of an animal person, was instantly smitten. From that day forward, Louis became an integral part of their visits. Louis seemed to transform when he was with Grandma. His usual feisty personality softened into that of an obedient and loving companion. He sat calmly on her hand, followed her instructions, and even seemed to understand her playful commands to step up. Grandma treated him as if he were her great-grandchild, offering him little pieces of food and doting on him with gentle affection. Louis happily accepted all the attention, chirping sweetly in response. For his owner, watching Louis and Grandma bond brought immense joy. She hadn't expected Louis to develop such a connection with anyone else, let alone her grandmother, but their relationship quickly became one of the most endearing parts of her life. Despite the challenges of caring for an exotic pet, she couldn't imagine life without Louis. His antics, his personality, and even his feistiness were all part of what made him special. Watching him bring joy to Grandma's life only reinforced her love for him. Louis had become a bridge, strengthening the bonds of family through his lively, loving presence. Reflecting on her journey with Louis, she realized how much he had changed her life. He taught her patience, resilience, and the importance of connection. For anyone considering adopting or rescuing an exotic animal like Louis, she emphasized the importance of proper research and professional guidance. Giving such a creature the life it deserves requires dedication and understanding, but the rewards, like the unbreakable bond between Louis and Grandma, are immeasurable. Through the love and joy Louis brought into their lives, one thing became abundantly clear. Sometimes the most unexpected friendships are the ones that touch our hearts the most. The story of Louis, the parrot who formed an extraordinary bond with his owner's grandmother, highlights the profound connections we can build with animals. It's a tale of love, adaptability, and the unexpected ways animals can enrich our lives. As I reflect on this story, it brings several important lessons to mind about family, the responsibilities of pet ownership, and the sheer magic of interspecies relationships. Parrots are fascinating creatures. They're highly intelligent, social, and often form deep bonds with the people around them. Louis exemplifies these traits, especially in his loyalty and unexpected attachment to Grandma. While many people expect birds to be less emotionally expressive than mammals, parrots often defy those assumptions. They can mirror human behaviors, mimic speech, and develop individual preferences for certain people. Louis's favoritism toward Grandma is a perfect example of this. Parrots like Louis remind us that animals are far more complex than we often give them credit for. They have personalities, emotions, and preferences much like humans. Witnessing a parrot form such a strong bond with someone outside of its immediate caregiver challenges our understanding of relationships, not just between humans, but across species. Caring for a pet, especially an exotic one like a parrot, is rarely straightforward. Louis's owner embarked on her journey with the best intentions, armed with research about feeding schedules and basic care. But as she discovered, living with an animal is an entirely different experience from reading about it. Louis's need for attention, his feisty temperament, and his tendency to destroy household items illustrate the challenges of owning a parrot. These birds require constant mental stimulation, social interaction, and physical care. For many first-time owners, this level of responsibility can feel overwhelming. However, it's in navigating these challenges that the true rewards of pet ownership emerge. One of the most touching aspects of the story is how Louis's owner adapted her life to accommodate him. Whether learning to do her makeup one-handed or replacing damaged items, she showed remarkable commitment and resilience. This willingness to adapt speaks to the deep bond she shares with Louis and serves as a reminder that pet ownership isn't about convenience. It's about love and responsibility. The relationship between Louis and Grandma is both surprising and heartwarming. It's a reminder that animals have an incredible capacity to connect with people in unique and unexpected ways. While Louis's owner initially worried about how her grandmother would react to meeting him, their instant bond shattered any concerns. There's something deeply touching about watching two unlikely companions, an elderly woman and a feisty parrot, develop a mutual affection. Louis's behavior around Grandma, from playing with her hair to obediently following her commands, shows a side of him that's calmer and more loving. It's as if he senses her kindness and responds with his own. This bond also highlights the role animals can play in bridging generational gaps. Louis became a shared joy for both his owner and Grandma, strengthening their family ties in unexpected ways. It's a beautiful reminder that pets aren't just companions, they're family members who can bring people closer together. Louis's story also serves as a cautionary tale for those considering adopting exotic animals. Parrots are not low-maintenance pets. They require extensive care, attention, and understanding. Louis's owner did her research beforehand, but she still faced challenges she hadn't anticipated. This underscores the importance of preparation and ongoing education for pet owners. Exotic pets like parrots need more than just food and shelter. They need enrichment, proper socialization, and a caregiver who can meet their complex needs. For anyone considering adopting an animal like Louis, it's crucial to consult professionals and ensure you're fully prepared for the commitment. At its heart, Louis's story is a celebration of unexpected friendships. Who could have predicted that a small parrot would form such a deep bond with an elderly woman? Yet, it's these kinds of connections that remind us of the beauty of life. Animals have a way of teaching us about ourselves and the people around us. Through his relationship with Grandma, Louis showed his owner a different side of his personality, a gentler, more loving side that might not have emerged otherwise. This dynamic also brought joy and warmth into Grandma's life, proving that love can transcend species and expectations. Lewis's story is more than just a charming tale about a parrot and his human family. It's a reminder of the joys and challenges of pet ownership, the power of connection, and the unexpected ways animals can enrich our lives. Whether you're a pet owner, an animal lover, or simply someone looking for inspiration, stories like Louie's serve as a testament to the profound bonds we can share with the natural world. For me, Louie is not just a bird. He's a symbol of resilience, adaptability, and the enduring power of love. His story reminds us to approach life with an open heart, ready to embrace the surprises and connections that come our way. Thank you for joining us in celebrating the heartwarming bond between Louie and his family. Stories like these remind us of the incredible connections we can share with animals. If you've been inspired by Louie, consider sharing this story to spread awareness about the joys of pet ownership. See you next time.